We're just two friends who love the movies, call each other every morning.
All right, dude. So, look, let's have a conversation. All right, one battle after another. All
What
right,
is it? That sounds familiar. What is it?
dude. Quit messing with me, man. That's my most anticipated movie of the year. I don't know if you saw that. Did I send you that article? I don't think I did.
No.
About Spielberg. Uh,
Oh, that he had watched it 4 times or something.
yeah, he had watched it like multiple times, and he was just praising it. He compared it like to a modern day Doctor Strangelove.
That's because they're Turner Classic Movie buddies.
Yeah, they. I've seen. I don't know if you've seen a few of their like conversations, like interviews or what on YouTube. Have you watched any of them?
I have not.
Dude, you need to go look them up. They're some of the most like they're such fun videos, man. Like it's just clear both of them are film lovers, and PTA is just like in awe of Spielberg, man. Like we were like, who wouldn't be, But one battle after another, man. What are your thoughts on it, man? It seems like they've been advertising it more than any film that he's made.
Well, I don't know because, you know, all I've seen in terms of advertising for his films are basically YouTube trailers. I mean, I didn't see any. I was too young to really experience the advertising of what might have been the advertising of some of his earlier works. So it's hard to say. I mean, just by virtue of having DiCaprio in it, it's going to attract a lot more eyeballs. I don't think he's had anything go wrong at the box office in years and years.
Yeah, well, this is PTA's biggest budget film. I think it's like 125. I think before that it was There Will Be Blood, maybe. I think at 70 million.
The only thing I'm a little down in the dumps about is that it's an adaptation. I
So
would
it's a loose. Thankfully, it's a loose adaptation. That's one thing that PTA has stated. It's not a direct adaptation of the book. It's he's adapting it, but not really. It's very loose.
It
So
also looks
that's
like it has a lot of action, which is very different for him.
exact. Oh, that's one thing that Spielberg mentioned. He said, and this is him talking to PTA. He said something along the lines of, "In the first hour, you have more action in this movie than all of your films combined, just within the first hour."
Yeah.
So it's a very action packed film, and he even, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to look it up, and I'll send it to you a little bit later. But PTA had put out the 5 films that he recommended people to watch before they watched this film that were
Interesting.
like inspired, right,
Yeah.
by it. So I'd have to send it to you. Um, One of the complaints I did see out of the early reviews was that the movie does feel it is a long movie. I think it's running at like 2 hours 41 minutes, which
Well,
means
that feels, I mean, I think you and I would both be excited for that. You know, we get PTA so few and far between that when you do get one of his movies, you want as much as you can get.
yeah, I agree, man. I think There Will Be Blood, other than Magnolia, obviously, but There Will Be Blood was his second longest, at 2 hours 38. Now this is going to be a little bit longer than that.
I
But
get the feeling from watching his material that he's only interested in making classics, and everything feels like a classic. It has a timeless feel to it somehow.
no, I agree with you on that. How do you feel about now that a few years have passed from Licorice Pizza and Phantom Thread. Speaking of those two, those are his most two recent. Since those released, how do you feel about them now?
Well, my feelings haven't changed towards either of them. In some ways, both were a little less exciting to me than things that had come before. That's not to be diminishing them at all, but when he made Phantom Thread, it was like he was. I think I tried to draw the comparison. It's always dangerous for me to make a musical analogy, but Phantom Thread was like classically trained perfection, not a wrinkle, perfect. And then, and we've seen him do that. And then the Licorice Pizza was like jazz, poetry. He was just being intuitive and kind of drawing from the language of film that he had collected over time from people that he liked and his own memories and experiences. So, yeah, I feel the same about both of them insofar as I really like both of them, love both of them.
Dude, you said it perfectly. I'm doing your little what's your little hand thing that you do whenever someone's saying
The,
something?
the like soccer player snap.
Yeah. No, you said it. You said it perfectly, man. Look, here's the thing. I I've rewatched both of those films. I've shown Vanessa both of them. I was surprised how much she liked Phantom Thread because it is a very slow burn. But
Yeah.
maybe it's because we're married. Like there's a lot of
It's
couple
about,
humor. Oh, what were you saying?
I said it's about Maya Rudolph,
Meyer. I mean, it is. He got the inspiration from that.
his muse.
Yeah, there you go.
But really, his muses are supposed to be like indie musicians, like Haim and who was the gal that Fiona Apple that he was dating when he did Magnolia?
Yeah, yeah, it was Fiona Apple. Um, yeah, I mean, I've going back to Licorice and going back to Phantom, I rewatched them and I love them even more and more. And I know you're gonna disagree with me on this, and I do think it's a great movie, but I just, man, The Master is just for me, it hasn't held up as much as some of his other films. And
That is strange for you to say.
that what?
Yeah, I don't really get that.
I don't know why, man. I think maybe it's because it feels so cold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but then again, Phantom Thread. Well, I mean, it is a warm movie at times, but it is a very cold one as well. But The Master, even when I first watched it, I watched it alone. I had to drive like an hour away, like to Birmingham, just to watch it. And I remember sitting in the movie theater, and I was just thinking, like, oh, "Wow, this is cinema." And I do still feel that way.
Those
I think
two,
about.
PSH and Joaquin Phoenix's performances burn. Uh, they
They,
just
I agree, man. They are amazing. I just think on an emotional level, it just doesn't resonate with me as much as some of his other films.
it's more heartbreak. It's totally heartbreaking. It's
Explain
ah.
to me why. Explain to me. Try to help me understand. Like what are your thoughts on The Master?
Look, I haven't seen it since it came out, but when I think back on Master, I think about the character that Joaquin Phoenix plays and all that he experienced and all that he tried to bury, and then this paternal relationship that's literally like extraterrestrial in its nature. This guy picks him up as his project, and it's just this hopelessness to the movie. That this ache of trauma and things that you can never unravel or explain, and the way that you grip to something that can lead you out of it, like like a father or a god or a bottle, for for gosh sake. It's just a massively painful movie.
Where would you?
Cold. You're not wrong that it's cold.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
You
rewatch it. I'm
watch
gonna
it.
rewatch it.
Classic Sammy. Dude, you've already rewatched it. How many times have you seen it, mister?
No, but I haven't seen. It's been years. I would say it's been more than 5 years since
They don't
I
call
last saw
you Samuel, you need to watch it again, Kalunga, for nothing.
it. Dude, when did I start saying that? Was that from
Dude,
the
well,
get
it's
go?
just, yeah, when we were young, you would just, anytime we said something that was like negative or like about a movie, like you just need to watch it again. It really needs to be watched twice. Uh,
Do you not agree? Do you not appreciate movies more on a
oh,
second watch?
there's this guy that I met here in, I knew him from Letterboxd, but he's actually here in Atlanta. And he would always say he had this professor. I wish I could remember exactly. Maybe had a film professor in college say, if you've only seen a film once, you haven't really seen it. Yeah. So, I mean, people feel this way. I think it's a reasonable way to feel, because there's so much packed into, your 1.5, 2 hours. uh, I mean, it's like with anything that you were trying to think more critically about. It helps. But look, you and me both love Roger Ebert, and he often would, he would just be flying through movies, and he would rewatch movies too, especially his great movies. But like you could tell when he reviewed them that, because, well, I guess what I'm trying to get at is there's something you get out of only watching a movie once that once you've watched it twice, you never get again. Because suppose you watch it, like you said, when you watched it the first time, you're like, oh, this is a masterpiece. And then the second time, you had a different experience with it. You were a different person. So it's both and. It's like you should or you shouldn't, right? Because
Yeah.
both are going to be different experiences that you can never revoke.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that you well said. I agree with that, and I still I still want to rewatch it as I guess as more of an adult. Not to say the last time. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
was
should, because every time you watch it, you're gonna have been a different person. You're gonna have a different experience. So I'm
so
curious how you.
it's a different movie, right? Like in a way. I mean, it's the same movie, but it's not.
Yeah,
Um,
because you're a different person, and
I
you're
mean,
trapped in a subjective cage.
when was the last time you watched it? Then
Well, I watched it when it came out once. That's it.
you haven't seen it since.
No, sir.
Okay, there you go. I guess we both represent both sides, right?
Yeah,
You only need to watch it once, and then I absolutely love, especially films of PTA. Oh, another one I want to rewatch, Punch Drunk Love. That's another one on my list.
that is one I've seen like 4 or 5 times.
Well, I think it's because it's so easy to digest, right? Like
Yeah,
it's a
but
90 minute in and out. What are your thoughts on Punch Drunk?
Punch Drunk is pure romance, pure magic. Uh, uh, the likes of which we're never to see again. I mean, everything about it was so offbeat and peculiar, in the best way. He was really playing from the heart. That's like Licorice Pizza. What I'm talking about. That him playing jazz, man. Like he was just following like the cinema fairy around and doing what it did.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have Philip Seymour Hoffman coming in with that in only pretty much like one scene, right?
I'd say
And
that's it. And
like that's a true star right there, man.
hmm
I yeah, I think One Battle After Another comes out the end of September. In preparation for that, like I've already seen Licorice, I've already seen Phantom, I've seen Boogie Nights,
You're gonna go back through his
hundreds of
filmography.
times. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch The Master, Punch Drunk Love. I've seen There Will Be Blood so many times.
Me
I
too.
don't think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through that one, but I will for sure watch The Master and Punch Drunk Love. Um,
The
and of
ones I really
course,
like are Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, and Punch Drunk. Those are really my top three for sure.
would you rank There Will Be Blood over Punch Drunk?
Not necessarily, but they're just so different. I would say, I mean, like a lot of people maybe my age, I don't know. There Will Be Blood was kind of something that, because at the time it wasn't that I hadn't seen more modern stuff, but I had a definite bias towards classic film. Growing up on TCM, and I was kind of snooty about it, like, oh, they're not making, like they used to, even though I was like 15 or something. Um, but that one like really opened a new door for me, so it was a big deal. And of course, Magnolia just destroyed my life, like transformed who I was as a person, I would say.
Dude, when you first showed Lori that movie, did you keep looking at her like to see how
If
she was?
if I remember correctly, like I started with her and I had to go to work or something, and then we were supposed to finish it later, but I think she finished it without me, if I'm not mistaken. I was a little down about it because I would have liked to have seen her reaction to the frogs. But oh, I told you, my roommate Victor broke the broke his
Yeah,
desk chair.
I remember that at the time you telling me that, and I was just
Because
kind
you
of
said
like,
this, you're like every time we're just like it all makes sense in the end. It all makes sense in the end. You were like promising us something. That, I mean, it was the promise of the movie, but it was also like uh, he we just kept waiting for everything to coalesce. We're like, I think both of us in the back of our minds are like, how's this all gonna tie together?
did he? I can't remember correctly, but he said something along the lines of like, "I hate you, Sammy," or
Yeah,
something like that, right?
yeah, he's cussing you, dude.
That was so good, man. That was so good. Well, uh, I'm gonna have to go back into work in just a little bit, man. But I just wanted to call. It was on my mind because everywhere I look, one battle after another is on the TV. It's on YouTube. Uh,
Hey, it's the same way with life, man. It's just one battle after another, man. Dude,
that's
what a
true.
title, right? What a freaking title.
That's true. Yeah, love the title. All right, man.
Uh,
I'll talk to you later.